What is value in motorcycling? The cheapest bike? No. If value merely consisted of buying the cheapest motorcycle, then finding it would be easy. However, often the least expensive also means pretty shitty, and shit isn't valuable. Value is more elusive than that. Yes, it involves a reasonable price, but it also necessitates that the product bought for that price be of decent or even high quality. It must be able to perform, be reliable, have utility, and maybe even look good. Value basically means that you got a lot for your money, and getting good value for the money may still be possible even when you spend a lot of it. So in this video we will pick the best value motorcycle in each of several categories: standard, cruiser, adventure, sport bike, naked, bagger, sport tour, scrambler, and dual sport. And we'll choose based on price, reliability, performance, utility, and fun. So settle in and enjoy the video, and if you find this content valuable, please support the channel by hitting those like and subscribe buttons. First, let's take a look at standard motorcycles, bikes that resemble the motorcycles from the 50s and 60s before specialization crept into the industry. These are the all-around machines that can be used to cruise the strip or road trip across the country. Many of these motorcycles are offered at a good value, but the best dollar to motorcycle ratio here is the Royal Enfield Interceptor 650. Royal Enfield upped their performance and reliability with these new twins, and I have to admit to really liking the Interceptor. For $6,000 US MSRP, you get a beautiful, great-sounding, classic-looking ride with decent performance. $6,000 for this. Sure, it's no superbike, but it'll take most cars off the line and get you where you're going. Best value in the class. Speaking of classic, let's move on to cruisers. Most of these laid-back bikes lag behind in the dollar to performance ratio, but one that doesn't is the Honda Rebel 1100. It's not pretending to be a Harley or an Indian, which I find refreshing, and with a 1084cc motor from the Africa Twin and generous lean angles, it's got some chops on the road. On a group ride, this bike will keep up with the big cruisers in a straight line and leave them for dead in the curves. It's got the latest electronics, can be had with Honda's DCT auto transmission, and can be equipped for long distance touring as well, even 2 up. Starting price, $9,400 US. If you can live with a P-twin instead of a V-twin, this is your ride, and the best bang for the buck among cruisers. So what about the most popular type of motorcycle today, the adventure bike? Here's where my personal experience comes in, because my own Yamaha Tenere 700 stands out among a rather overpriced and over-engineered group of motorcycles for its simplicity and competence. On the road, the Yamaha rips around corners and can keep up with much bigger and more expensive motorcycles. Off-road, it beats most of them while being easier to handle by both beginner and experienced riders. It looks good, sounds great, has the perfect engine for this kind of bike, and costs $10,300 US. That's pricey, but take a look at the prices of the competition, bikes that aren't necessarily better but are thousands of dollars more expensive. It's hard to argue that the T7 is not the best value in the class. The Kawasaki KLR650 is very reasonably priced, but in my opinion the T7 is worth the extra dough. Now let's talk about all-out performance on the track, because that's what sport bikes are for. These motorcycles are built to put in the fastest lap time and still be sort of rideable on the road. And while you can spend an arm and a leg for some, others are surprisingly affordable, at least until you factor in insurance. To me, the best value for your money in the sport bike world is the Kawasaki Ninja ZX6R, or the 636 as it is known, because it's the bike that didn't play by the rules. How do you beat the competition? If you're Kawasaki, you give your bike an extra 36cc. And it worked, as the ZX6R is pumping out more juice than its 599cc competition all across the rev range, and tops out at 127 horsepower and 45 pound-feet of torque. Those figures don't come close to the 1000 plus cc sport bikes, but still make for plenty of fun for your $10,500 US. Add traction control, power modes, a decently comfortable for a sport bike seating position, and great styling, and you end up with the most sport bike for your money. And if you're looking for performance for the street with a more comfy seating position, then the naked bike that stands out as the most fun per dollar spent is the Yamaha MT-09. Now, Yamaha loaned me the SP version of this bike for a week last season, and you can check out that video in the top right corner. But if you want the short version, I was shocked at how much performance you can get for $9,500 US. That's the standard version of the bike I'm talking about. The SP is a bit more expensive because of the Öhlins shock. However, the regular MT-09 has perfectly good suspension, one of the most kick-ass engines in motorcycling, all the necessary electronics, and a sweet sound thanks to the engine's 3-cylinder architecture. If you're looking to lose your mind and possibly your license, it won't cost as much as you think. Now, if you're in North America, there's about a 50-50 chance that you're a bagger connoisseur, and this is where value becomes a bit of a touchy subject. Baggers ain't cheap, and it's hard to call them value motorcycles, but one stands out in terms of relative value, and believe it or not, it's a Harley Davidson. I know, that's a shocker. Actually, the least expensive bagger is the Kawasaki Vaquero, but if we include resale as a component of value, the Electra Glide standard at $19,430 US is your ride. Yes, almost 20 Gs is steep, and the Electra Glide standard doesn't even have a stereo, but it's an honest-to-goodness hog, looks good, sounds good, comes in 3 colors, ebony, coal, and black, and will get you into the Bagger Bro Club. Better snap one up quick as it's already been discontinued in Canada, and it won't be long before the Harley brass decide to replace it with a new and improved model that's half again as pricey. Oh, and good luck finding one for MSRP. Now, what to do if you can't decide between a sport bike and a bagger? Get both, of course. However, if you're a value-conscious consumer, you can combine these two in one motorcycle. Yes, the Sport Tour. Now, there are all types of great sport touring motorcycles out there, but at their core, these bikes are for crossing the country and tearing up the twisties when you get to the other side. And the bike that accomplishes this goal with the most smiles for the least money is another motorcycle that I reviewed for a week last year, the Kawasaki Ninja 1000 SX. Video in the top right corner. Why this bike? Because for $12,900 US, you get a 140 horsepower missile with cruise control, quick shifter, rider modes, traction control, adjustable windshield, and phone connectivity. And pretty nice bags. There are other bikes that give you all of these things as well, but not for that price, and so the Ninja takes it. Plus, it looks really good and feels like riding a sport bike, albeit a porky one. Another type of throwback motorcycle that has increased in popularity lately is the Scrambler, and no wonder, as these are generally good-looking, do-it-all bikes that can rip around on pavement and also have some off-road capability. And while there are some good choices in this category, they can get pricey. And here, Royal Enfield has come to the rescue by recently releasing a Scrambler version of their Himalayan adventure bike. The Scram 411 replaces the Himalayan's 21-inch front wheel with a 19-incher, thus sacrificing some already limited ground clearance. But it also loses a bunch of weight, coming in at a ready-to-ride 407 pounds. It looks good and has enough beans to keep up with traffic on western highways. North American prices have not yet been announced, but in India this bike is slightly less expensive than the Himalayan, which carries an American MSRP of $5,300. So a full-size Scrambler with real off-road ability for around $5,000 US? You could get almost 3 of these for the price of one Triumph Scrambler 1200 XE. Finally, we get to the dual sports, a type of bike I like a lot because it will take you places few other vehicles can. And while there are plenty of high-tech, high-maintenance, high-priced options here, I'm partial to the 4-stroke trail bikes from Japan. Surprise, surprise. Why? They're easy to ride, low maintenance, and affordable while still having enough beans to keep up with highway traffic. And the best value in this class is the Honda CRF300L, the regular one, not the rally version my wife rides. This bike is modern, smooth, and refined with a relatively powerful engine and wheel-spaced gearing. You can cruise the highway, rail single track, and ride everything in between, and the US MSRP is $5,250. Yes, the Kawasaki KLX300 is also good and has better suspension, but it can't match that price. This is a go almost anywhere bike that's good looking and reliable for the price of a good bicycle. That's why it wins. So, unsurprisingly, this list is heavy on entries from Japan. 2 Hondas, 2 Yamahas, 2 Kawasaki's. Yes, the Japanese manufacturers produce reliable, competent motorcycles, and I must admit that I'm partial to them. But the fact that Royal Enfield is going global and also has 2 bikes on this list is perhaps signaling a shift in the motorcycling world. And there's a Harley. Who would have thunk it? Which bikes did I leave out and which choices do you disagree with? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Hopefully, the list of affordable, good motorcycles keeps growing and getting more people into the sport. Thanks for watching, enjoy the upcoming season, and ride safe.
If you're interested in any of the gear that Brooke and I wear or use, or the camera equipment we use to film this channel, the links are below. Everything listed there was bought with our own money and we are not sponsored by any company. However, the links below are affiliate links and the channel is paid a small amount for referring you to shop at no additional cost to you. We do not recommend any products that we are not satisfied with ourselves, but we do strongly urge you to do your research and select the correct size for items like helmets and clothing. As always, thanks for watching, your support is greatly appreciated. Please hit that subscribe button, give the video a thumbs up, and leave a comment below. And whatever you ride, enjoy it. Wave at other bikers no matter what they're riding, we're all part of a brotherhood and sisterhood. Keep the rubber side down, shiny side up, and may the spokes be with you.